Good afternoon. Dear comrades, party members, foreign guests and observers, friends and allies of the state of Sandus, dear fellow citizens. The time has come again for our party and our state to come together as one entity, in one venue, at one time. Established by tradition in the first year of the state of Sandus, the Party Congress has been the single most important and decisive recurring event in our state's constitution. It is the Party Congresses which have given us the loosening of Libera, the development of proletarian internationalism, the development of the Sandom socialist economy, the formation of our Sandom culture, and the development of Sandom democracy. These transformative events continue in the legacy of the days of secession and of foundation. They are the direct, democratic, and revolutionary creative energy of the Sandom people. The Party Congress is held on or near the occasion of the National Day of Socialism and the Day of the Ways and Means of Revolution, the 7th and 8th of November, respectively. It is on these days that Sandus celebrates its socialist tradition and heritage. In the corpus of the Sandom philosophy, socialism is the pragmatic and systematic counterpart to the Buddhist philosophy. Socialism is the manifestation of Sandus's compassion and hope for an end to suffering. All people desire an end to their suffering, and as we know, there is not one single path to peace. But our Sandom path to liberation is forged both by our work and by the democratic deliberation of the sovereign people and of the party. During the period under review, Sandus has both attained its undeniable sovereignty in its internal affairs, while at the same time gaining its isolation on the international stage. This is ideal. The state of Sandus no longer fights disputes abroad, but seeks to answer real questions at home pertaining to the development of our state along the path of socialism. Finally, this Party Congress is a momentous occasion. It is the first time the Sandom people have met following the 2013 citizenship crisis, and it is likewise the first time foreign observers, without regards to politics and without deference, can observe the proceedings of the Party Congress. The party has come a long way to restore the strength and normalcy of the Sandom Republic. Our present isolation is a manifestation of Libera, that is, the policy of self-defense, self-reliance, and independence in all our affairs, and should not be confused for inactivity or weakness. During the period under review, the state of Sandus demonstrated its full, powerful resolve in the realm of diplomacy, and likewise its hope for camaraderie between states. At the 2013 Party Conference, Sandus brought together international comrades from across the leftist and socialist spectrum to come together and to speak to the benefit of each other's states, focusing not on differences or disputes, but on successes and commonalities. As a result of this conference, the International Leftist Forum was established, and the Intermicronational Left saw its first coherent activity since 2010. Today, with the conference, our party and our state joins with our international partners in seeking this camaraderie once more. The successes of our state during this period ought to be listed for the citizens united here at this Congress, so that we may all discuss and decide with an educated mind. Therefore, I would like to welcome all citizens and comrades to this 2014 CCPS Party Congress. So begins the report on the period under review. The report on the period under review. The report on the period under review will be both recorded in audio and pasted into the chat room of the CCPS Party Congress. The period under review is November 2012 to November 2014. There were 15 diplomatic disputes in this 2-year time period and numerous internal developments. These are described below. External affairs. On 17 November 2012, Sanders responded cautiously after the relaxation of Liberia's self-defense to Zealandian propaganda which called Sanders aggressive and imperialistic. Then citizen Andre Summit was sent to meet with then President of Zealandia to negotiate a conclusion of hostilities. In December 2012, the disputes with Wyvern, Lost Island, and Zealandia came to a head when both Sanders and Eucalandia became observers in the Grand Unified Micronational. By the new Gregorian year, Sanders was removed from the GUM by a behind-the-scenes power play perpetuated by the leadership of the GUM under Yaroslav Mar of Lost Island. After much consideration and upon the advice of our allies and partners, Sanders returned to the GUM on 30 March 2013 as a full member. In early April 2013, Eucalandia, Sanders, and Wyvern finally concluded diplomatic hostilities with a joint trilateral meeting with state leaders of all three parties. On 14 April 2013, Sanders concluded temporary diplomatic tensions with the Federal Republic of Lost Island when 3 days prior, then Prime Minister Denis Tezcan accused Sanders of being preferential in its fight against racism and fascism. On 1 May 2013, the autonomous province of Wolfa became independent. Wolfa has since become inactive. Sanders also responded to perennial criticisms of its Remembrance Day holiday on 9 May during the same time period. In July and August 2013, the state of Sanders responded to new Israeli undiplomatic statements that was tantamount to disrespect between heads of state on the basis of homophobia. On 8 August 2013, Sanders released its presentation, Sanders is Not Aggressive, in response to new Israeli propaganda calling the state of Sanders aggressive and imperialistic as a result of its defense of LGBTQ+ micronationalists. The Sokomo met with Prince Ruhu of Kumano later that month in unrelated talks, which discussed Kumano's ascension to Sosiliva statehood. In October and November 2013, Kumano became a Sosiliva state by treaty. In November 2013, Sanders responded to perennial criticism about its holidays on 7 and 8 November, celebrating, respectively, the National Day of Socialism and the Day of the Ways and Means of Revolution. On 1 September 2013, the Office of the Sokomo made a blanket agreement with Lost Island and Wyvern not to address its leaders by the traditional Sanam address, Monsieur. On 8 February 2014, the state of Sanders decided not to ratify the new GUM charter, thereby losing full membership in the Grand Unified Micronational. On 5 March 2014, Sanders responded to transphobia directed at Queen Astrid of Zealandia. On 9 May 2014, Sanders responded to the same criticism of the Remembrance Day holiday that reoccurs annually from foreign micronations. In June 2014, the state of Sanders signed the St. Josephburg Economic Agreement that formed a transnational free trade zone and applied economic regulations for labeling and qualifications on the entire economic pact. On 10 July 2014, King Adam of Uberstadt officially visited Kremlin-Sanders province and signed the treaty granting Sosiliva statehood to Uberstadt. Today, Adam von Friedrich stands as a candidate for the secretaryship of the party. In late July and early August, Sandus promulgated the Denton Protocol with Zealandia in order to protest systematic transphobia and micronational diplomacy. The Denton Protocol raised an incident in which Sandus refused to respect the titles and addresses of transphobic micronationalists, who likewise refused to recognize the transgender and gender non-binary identities of micronationalists. The incident was finally concluded individually with the major parties when Sandus agreed to respect the styles, titles, and addresses of the targeted parties, if they were to respect the gender-specific titles and addresses of transgender and queer micronationalists. Sandus has likewise also been a mediator in the recurring micronational disputes in the Filipino intermicronational community. It must be noted that in all the cases and events listed above, Sandus has either successfully negotiated for peaceful ends by use of diplomacy, or, on many occasions, has outright won complete supremacy in guaranteeing the success of Sandus's sovereign policies. This is no doubt thanks to the state of Sandus's statal system, which our republic has constructed and our party has faithfully guided. On the incident involving Sandus's forced removal from the Grand Unified Micronational in January 2013, the party's virtue of self-defense and independence in all affairs, under the guidance of Libera, led to the successful conclusion of hostilities, leading Sandus honored in the international arena. During the Denton Protocol incident, even when Sandus was outnumbered and our intermicronational situation was at its most dire and gravest, the Sandom state successfully reversed our misfortune and produced a situation in which our original objective was finally accepted: the diplomatic protocol of respect for heads of state and of government, regardless of gender identity or sexuality. It was the same diplomatic situation when Sandus successfully pioneered foreign policy against the empire of New Israel and its government-sponsored system of homophobia, transphobia, and biphobia. Sandus has led to a principled diplomatic platform against hatred based on race, ethnicity, nationality, gender, sex, sexuality, gender identity, class, religion, disability, and other discriminatory status. Sandus has pioneered on the international stage its elements of realism and characteristics of its national philosophy. Sandus's principles based on the Sandom philosophy have led, lead, and will continue to lead the state of Sandus to victory in all its international diplomacy. Guided by the principles of the state and party, the sovereign people shall forever remain victorious in its diplomatic work. Internal affairs. The period under review has been one of the most developed in terms of the functions of state that Sandus has ever seen. This period has witnessed both the growth of the party after a momentary citizenship crisis that developed in spring 2013, where 66% of Sandus's active population left the state, and also the development of Sandom culture and the formation of the basics of the Sandom socialist economy. Let us, therefore, consider the internal developments of the state of Sandus and the party for the period under review. Work of the party. James Thompson was elected at the 2012 CCPS Party Congress. At the 2012 CCPS Party Congress, Philia was voted into existence as a policy that sees cultural development as the primary focus of Liberia's role in self-defense and independence. The self-defense function of Liberia was reduced to no longer require Sandus's complete self-defense when attacked or provoked politically. Oaths to citizenship were formulated. The Sandom Cultural Authority was established. The people voted down further democratic devolution of power. Comrade Secretary Thompson served faithfully as CCPS Party Secretary until March 2013, when he resigned from the secretaryship and left the state of Sandus as a citizen, due to mitigating circumstances surrounding his interest and role in micronationalism. Sogomo Gaius Sorgel assumed the position of acting secretary of the party in the interim period. The CCPS Party Congress planned for April 2013 was cancelled due to a lack of active citizenship able and willing to attend the Congress, and in the upheaval, the party's Congress for November of that same year was cancelled due to the minor statal failure of the state of Sandus to secure a population, one of the 4 requirements of a state. That year, the party instead held a CCPS Party Conference, discussed above, in which foreign representatives of socialist and leftist intermicronational parties came to discuss socialism in their states. The result of the 2013 CCPS Party Conference led to the development of the CCPS Year Plan for the year 2014, published in mid-December 2013, ahead of the winter solstice elections for 2014. The Sogomo and the acting secretary published a report on the CCPS Year Plan for 2014 for Lamas in August 2014. If the Sogomo's plan for the Democratic Assembly is accepted by the CCPS Party Congress at this event, future CCPS Year Plans can be prepared by future CCPS Party secretaries for the quarter and cross-quarter days in the future. In the future, if the Building Democracy in the Council Plan is approved and ratified in December, the party will have to begin to prepare itself for the divorce of its democratic responsibility and power from its role as a political institution which advocates and pioneers socialism in the state of Sandus. Economic work and the Sandom economy. During the period under review, the state of Sandus has stressed the role of the government in the economy through the article pertaining to economy in the founding law of the state of Sandus. For the first time in our history since the creation of Sandus on 26 May 2009, the state of Sandus has worked to develop its economic infrastructure in order to reach its 2015 economic goal. In February 2013, an article was published on Veredum Sandus to prepare for the growing economic structure, called Expanding the Economic Structure for the Goal. Tellus Agrarian Cooperative, Sandus's first economic cooperative, was founded on 29 June 2013, and that summer it had its first horticultural season in August of that same year. Though that crop failed, just having it was a major step in Sandus's economic progress. Never before had such an action been taken in Sandus, and a select few of micronations developed their own horticultural practices and backgrounds. In the winter of 2013 to 2014, the party put into action the discussions of the CCPS Party Conference of November 2013 that centered on economic socialism within our states. The party sought, as a resolution of those discussions, to form its own PayPal account and to acquire a way and to provide a way to donate funds to the account through the Sandom Facebook page. This was done, though has hardly been used. In the future, it would be prudent to provide the PayPal account and a donation function to Sandus.org and other online resources of the state of Sandus. In the future, the party and the Sogomo should do more to encourage citizens to donate money to the running of the state of Sandus. For, with our entire help, the state of Sandus can work to prepare for increased collectivization of the state of Sandus, work to put on cultural events that attract all citizens, and increase the awards for citizenship. In summer 2014, the state of Sandus saw the second season of Tellus Agrarian Cooperative, which resulted in a meager success to produce radish sprouts. More work must be done to plant and grow foodstuffs, which fall under the statal umbrella of Tellus. Though the Palace Estate is not the premier space for this, due to light and soil complications, Sandus's neighbors are able to do this. Furthermore, Sandus can do more work to utilize other spaces beyond Kremlin-Sandus province, which fall under the purview of TELUS. Finally, TELUS should expand its work to the area of food production, not just its focus on horticulture and gardening. In late summer 2014, Ergane Artisanal Cooperative was founded as a cooperative for arts and crafts in Sandus. No work has been done towards Ergane. Cultural developments since November 2012. At the time of the last Party Congress in November 2012, Philia fortnights were written and published each fortnight with their focus on cultural developments in the state of Sandus. These reports created a sense of accountability in the office of the Sogmo to continue the longevity of the cultural font of honor. Furthermore, it encouraged Sanam citizens to work towards cultural work in a way that was both personally self-constructive and reduced stress. The Sogmo will restore the writing of these fortnightly reports after this CCPS Party Congress. Since November 2012, several new holidays have been celebrated and added to the calendar. 3 holidays to peace have begun to be celebrated in January: the Festival of Pax, the Concordia, and the Festival of Felicitas. Late in 2014, it was decided to also make the anniversary of the first policy projection a holiday on 10 January. This holiday will first be commemorated in 2015. In 2014, the Parentalia, Feralia, and Charicia were celebrated for the first time, festivals dedicated to our cherished predecessors and members of our family. In March 2014, Sandus celebrated the Navigium Isidis for the first time, dedicated to the Egyptian goddess Isis. In May, we have begun to commemorate Remembrance Day in the Lemuria as one broader holiday from 7 to 15 May, in mourning of the war dead and those who have passed away prematurely. On 17 May, Sandus celebrates the International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia. Sandus celebrated its first major public event for LGBTQ+ Pride Week in late June. In July, Sandus has also celebrated the None Caprotine and the other major festivals of Castor and Pollux, the Lucaria, the Neptunalia, and the Furinalia. In August 2014, the state of Sandus celebrated for the first time a neo-pagan quarter or cross-quarter day. Kumano Susilivanso Day was celebrated for 3 August, and the Day of Mourning for Hawaiian annexation was also celebrated for the first time. In September, Celebrate Bisexuality Day was instituted for 23 September. Likewise, Sandus celebrated International Coming Out Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, and the Day of the Americas. Sandus has started to celebrate Native American culture from October to November, as Indigenous Peoples Heritage Month falls in November. Transgender Day of Remembrance has also been added to the calendar of Sandom holidays and is commemorated on 20 November. Finally, the Sogmo celebrated the 2013 Saturnalia with friends and family for the first time. Sandus has developed a customary tradition for mourning and grieving, where one goes through the steps of grieving in a ceremonial 9-day time period. This tradition has been used for the Sogmo's late grandfather, a friend of Sandus on Second Life, and the Parentalia and Lemuria described above. In January 2013, the state of Sandus formed its own Minecraft server, in which Sandus constructed an entire city in the theoretical Sandom style. This virtual city included a central government district, a residential area, museums, a park, a college, an industrial area, and a farm. In November 2013, the state of Sandus developed its own ambassadorial group in the virtual world of Second Life, named Sende Amici, located in the well-established community of Roma. Now, almost a year since then, Sende Amici has had many exhibits about Sandis, micronationalism, and our culture, and continues to remain an exciting place for many to explore and understand our country. Sende Amici has also begun to broaden itself as well to other communities in Second Life, such as the Confederation of Democratic Simulators. Finally, after the 2012 CCPS Party Congress, the state of Sandis attempted to pioneer a proletarian and democratic way to construct Sandom culture from then on. This was by the Sandom Cultural Authority. The SCA was never established as an entity, except in name only, and should the Building Democracy and the Council Plan be approved by this Party Congress, perhaps the role of this authority can be taken up instead by the direct Democratic Assembly. Regardless, the state of Sandis will continue to develop the culture of the Sandom people. Though at present the situation may be less than positive for the development of the Sandom culture, due to the present slump in activity in preparation for the Congress, improved accountability by all members of Sandom society will undoubtedly lead to greater cultural activity and increased cultural production and output for the benefit of all Sandom citizens. Broadening the dynamics of citizenship. In the period under review, the classes of citizenship were used and applied to the socio-political structure of the state of Sandis. The groundbreaking Act on Citizenship of March 2012 established the 3 grades of citizenship, the provincial system, and a system to staff the Central People's Government. Though the system was overturned, this act is still tremendously important to the running of the state of Sandis. Since its promulgation, which falls outside of the period under review, Sandis has strengthened the system this law establishes. In November 2012, Sandis has seen fluctuations in its population, but the trend has been immensely positive. Today, in November 2014, Sandis has the most citizens it has ever had, with 9 citizens. Sandis has developed a unique system of shared citizenship. In the few months after the promulgation of that law, Blesby became a Socialiva state. However, the arrangement with Blesby quickly came to a close when that state collapsed and Mr. Samut became a full Sandom citizen. This status remained dormant for some time until August 2013, when Sandis began discussions with Kumano to extend Socialiva statehood to them. A treaty of Socialiva statehood was ratified between Sandis and Kumano in October 2013. In July 2014, as well, Uberstadt became a Socialivanzo. Sandis' Socialiva citizenship has extended partial citizenship to those nations which are closely related to Sandis in terms of ideology, philosophy, and culture. In sum, all states that make up the Sandom Socialivanse Union are Sandis' fraternal partners. Socialiva citizens were extended the right of representation in the party and to stand for political office on the basis of the right to petition in August 2014 by decree. In January 2014, the Sokomo declared that Peregre citizens would have to begin to pursue a Sevilla certificate in the Kremlin Sandis State College. For time in spring and summer 2014, one citizen was forbidden full citizenship on the grounds that he had not completed a certificate. By the August 2014 decree on Peregre communes and Socialivanse, described above, this requirement was rescinded. That citizen has since been given full Sevilla citizenship. The role of the State College has been altered to educate Sandom citizens in and for the future. However, the party may decide not to keep such a superlative organ. Building Democracy at Home. When the state of Sandus was founded in April 2011, it was founded with a sense of proto-realism, and the Sogamous authority reigned supreme. In September of that year, the Sogamous, however, applied restrictions to his power by enacting the Act on Democracy of September 2011, where an annual national referendum would decide if the Sogamous' reign was legitimate or illegitimate. In this law as well, two representatives of the people, the Comrade representative and the Sanaba or Pahanam representative, would advise the Sogamous. The latter representative was later rescinded as an office, though the CCPS secretary remained the de facto representative of the party. The party was also given democratic and advisory powers by this act and by the Act on the Enfranchisement of the Party of December 2011, and has since then acted as a proto-parliament during the once biannual and now annual CCPS Party Congresses. The 2013 citizenship crisis hurt the party, the development of Sandom democracy, and the formation of the Sandom Republic. The party's historic and constitutional powers to act as proto-parliament will be hurt by the adoption of the Building Democracy in the Council Plan, but this formative effect to the Sandom Republic would be beneficial. The party will have to amend its operations and business to better reflect the developments of the Sandom state and the reduction of its constitutional powers. Nonetheless, the party stands for both democracy and the development of socialism. The benefits this plan will have on the formation of the Sandom state will be countless. The party will begin to develop its role as an independent organ with members based on their merit, and the Sandom sovereign people will be given a voice in the running and accountability of the Central People's Government and the Office of the Sogamous. In conclusion of the report on the period under review, the party should approve the plan for democracy in the state of Sandus, the sovereign nation of the party and the sovereign people. Thank you.